boys and girls. Today we're going to be creating these watercolor resist flowers. Now these flowers are created using two different textures of watercolor. Right here you can see the first one, that's the resist. It's created by using a white crayon and drawing on the paper first. And then we have this right here, which is a saran wrap technique. And this technique uses, you put the paint down first and then you put the saran wrap over it. It creates this really cool texture. Now previously we have talked about several other watercolor techniques. Can anyone name one for me? Good job. Now the textures we have gone over are droplets. We've gone over the salt texture. We've talked about drawing back into our watercolor, and we've talked about using a sponge. Today we're going to talk about using saran wrap and resist. As I talked about previously, the resist uses a white crayon, and we're going to draw on the paper first. And that's where our flowers come in. We're going to be drawing our flowers on the paper. Now with this, where you get a choice of two colors. You can either use red, yellow, or blue. I need you to let me know ahead of time which colors you want to do. At this time, please raise your hand and let your teacher know which colors you would like to use. Now, that you have told me which colors you want to use, also keep in mind that we're going to use two different sections of saran wrap. So begin thinking about where you want to place your saran wrap. Today you will need a cup of water. For watercolor, you have a choice of red, yellow, and blue. I'm using red and blue today. You will need a round paintbrush. You're going to need saran wrap and a white crayon. To begin, we're going to put our name, the date, our teacher, and our mascot on our paper. We always put this on our paper. Now for our project, we're going to flip our paper over and we're going to begin by drawing. Now when I draw with a white crayon on this piece of paper, what do you think is going to happen? That's right, we're not going to be able to see it. Good job. So we're going to begin by drawing our flower. And make sure that your flower is bigger than your hand. Now that I have my flower drawn, I'm going to take that as bigger than my hand. And it is. Good job. So make sure that you cover as much of the paper as you can. Now we're going to take our round watercolor brush and we are going to get some water and we're going to put it on our paper. Who can tell me what this is called? That's right, wet on wet. Good job. That is one of the watercolor techniques that we have talked about before. And we want to make sure that we cover our entire flower with water to begin. Okay, now that I have my entire flower covered with water, I'm not so much worried about the rest of the paper as I am making sure the entire flower is covered. Now I'm going to begin using my red because I want a red flower, and we're going to cover the entire flower. Now, can you see the crayon coming through? Yes, you can. Now this is where the resist comes in. Where the crayon is, the watercolor will not come in contact with the paper, which makes your drawing appear. And don't be afraid to use a little bit of watercolor for this because it's going to take a good bit to cover your entire flower. Okay, now that we've got our entire flower, this is where our second color is going to come in. Remember with our brushes, we swish, 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 wipe, wipe, wipe. Remember, we don't sling water everywhere and we don't get paint on anyone else. So now we're going to take our blue And I'm just gonna put a few dots on the center of my flower, and I think I want a few on my leaf. So I'm gonna put a few over there. So now we're gonna rinse our brush out. And remember, we do not leave our brushes in the water. We're gonna set them to the side. So now I'm gonna take my first piece of saran wrap and I'm gonna place it over the center of my flower. Ooh, look at that. It's really nice texture coming through. Now we're going to take our second piece and we're going to place it over the leaf of our flower. You get 2 pieces of saran wrap and you can put them where you want. If it runs over to the sides, don't worry about that. It'll just add more texture to your piece. So now you're going to take your piece and you're going to take it to the drying rack. We're going to leave the saran wrap on until it is completely dry. The next class, we'll peel the saran wrap off and we'll talk about it.